Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 51 of the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles. I'm here with Jackson and special guest Ben Axelrod back again. Guys, how are you doing today?
Doing great today. Fine, the Celtics won. Bad day for America, so let's just start the episode.
Yeah, game 2 of the NBA Finals just wrapped up. No Nick, no Joey today. Joey was here earlier to watch the game with us.
Yeah, 'cause he can't guard me.
And Nick was out playing basketball in the nicer parts of Ohio today. Shout out to the both of them. Ben is here. He's going to pull through for everyone here today. And it's going to be a lot of fun, even though the game did not go exactly how we wanted it to go. Game 2 of the 2024 NBA Finals. The Celtics go up 2-0 with the 105-98 win, where it was really the defense that got it done for the Boston Celtics. I mean, no one could really make a three-point shot in this game for either team, but the Celtics were the ones to make the shots down the stretch, and they pull out the victory. Biggest takeaways from this game. Ben, why don't we start with you? What was your biggest takeaway from either side here in Game 2?
Yeah, wow. I gotta say, great defense from Derek White and Jrue Holiday with mine because, Kyrie, once again, he was bad and their great defense at him. Yeah, that definitely did, help him do better in game 2. And then for Luka, he scored a good amount of points, but like usual, he found a way to make a lot of tough plays that were really good plays that were just even better offense. And yeah, that was basically huge for Boston.
Yeah, Jackson, I would say the defense that Jrue Holiday and Derek White played, especially in the second half, made it very difficult for Luka and Kyrie to get going. But Kyrie, 2 straight games where he really has not looked that good. We were even looking at his numbers today: 16.6 assists, 7 for 18 from the field, which is not that good of a shooting game. And it looked way better on the box score than it did in the game. He just really couldn't get anything going.
It's like he can't even dribble. Like half the time, like he's bobbling dribbles and stuff. Like not usual Kyrie stuff. And most of those like makes that he had were the easy layups that he was getting. Like other than that, he couldn't make a tough shot. And he was taking a lot of unnecessary tough shots at times.
Yeah, I think Luka and Kyrie, like you mentioned, Ben, like with Luka, he was making a lot of difficult plays, and there were some difficult passes that went through, made for some, excellent flashy highlight plays. But you mentioned in the last episode, how sometimes it's really costly for his team because he makes things a lot more difficult than he needs to.
There was the play he got trapped. I think it was with Porzingis and Tatum, and he just like kind of chucked it over his head back, and it got stolen and led to an easy transition dunk. But Luka, he's doing everything, so you can't get too mad at him because he did have a triple double. He's literally their whole offense because the guy who I don't think can be a number 2 option on a championship team anymore, Kyrie, isn't showing up. I think if Kyrie was like, he just seems like he doesn't, like lights are too bright. And he was saying after game 1 in his press conference, he's like, "Oh, it wasn't loud enough in there." Well,
right.
It was pretty loud today, and he still stunk it up. So I don't know what Kyrie's doing. I think he's diminishing his image for me, at least, because I've always liked Kyrie, but it's just hard. It's hard to stick with him right now because he's honestly losing them the finals. Not him entirely, but a lot of it's on him.
Yeah.
He's had back-to-back stinker games as a number 2 option against the best built roster in the NBA right now.
Yeah, the role players for Dallas, they all need to play better. And of course, Kyrie Irving not a role player by any means, but he has to play a lot better because
playing like one.
The role players in this game, they played pretty well for Dallas. When you look at it, like PJ Washington, 17.7 boards, Gafford, 13 points, 9 rebounds, both very solid in the second half. I thought that Ben, they did a very good job of getting in the paint. They sealed Gafford a lot inside to start the second half, and they were able to get a lot more easy buckets inside that they were not getting in game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Washington and Gafford, how them play well in the second half, and I mean how well they played for Boston, how much better Boston's been for them. Like, wow, what what two great moves at the trade deadline there by them, and I mean it. I think those two guys, were big reasons why they were able to even stay in the game and not let it get you know
Get
more
too out of
control
hand.
of Boston earlier.
Yeah, I thought Derek Jones Jr. also played some fantastic minutes today. I mean, it doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet. He only had 11 points, 4 for 7 from the field, but he played amazing defense. I mean, he was guarding Tatum, who shot 6 for 22 today for most of the game, which that's really bad.
That's not good.
And then
It's just not
there
good.
was one play he got there was a pass that was thrown into the backcourt, and Tatum tried to throw it back up court, and Derek Jones Jr. stole it and then took it down for an and one on the other end, which kind of gave them a little momentum. Obviously, didn't do much with the momentum, but I think he played some great minutes. And looking at another person, I think Lively underrated game today. I think he played a lot better than people are giving him credit for. He looked lost a couple times, but he is a rookie, and I think for a rookie, he played really well in this game, especially off the bench, having to go up against a guy like Kristaps.
Yeah, and I think Dallas did a good job of responding because they really did not play that good of a basketball game here today for it to be as close as it was in the final minutes. Like you look in the first quarter, I kept mentioning with the amount of turnovers, the missed free throws, which is something that we definitely have to talk about, and they're them committing a lot of fouls, which yes, we could all agree that there were some rough calls. The officiating was not very evenly sided today, even though it may seem like that with the number of free throws. The Mavericks shot more free throws. With all that going on, the Mavericks were leading at the end of the first quarter. It was pretty close at halftime. The third quarter, the Celtics really dominated that. They had a few chances to really blow it open with Pritchard hitting the crazy three-pointer at the buzzer to end the
That's
third
what
quarter.
gave them, because I think the Mavericks started to get momentum, and then he hit that, and it was like, oh, like I said, I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
That was kind of demoralizing. And another person we didn't mention was, at least I think another good role player for Dallas today was Dante Exum.
Yeah.
They need to give. I said it the first game. I said it this game. He needs to play more minutes. Just because Dallas, like when Luka's not in, and even when Luka's in, sometimes they play really, really slow. And against a team like Boston, sometimes you have to go really, really fast. And Dante Exum is really, really good at pushing the pace sometimes. Like if he grabs a rebound, he's just bolting up the court with the ball. And he's either starting a good transition or just getting some mismatches with Boston that they might not want, like maybe someone like a Sam Hauser on Luka or something like that. And then they can capitalize.
And Exum was one of the two other Mavericks besides Luka to make a three in this game.
He went 1 for 1.
1 for 1. The Mavericks shot 6 for 26 from deep in this game. Luka 4 of 9. So the other Mavericks 2 for 17 from beyond the arc. And the 3-point shooting, Ben, it was really odd to see from both teams. The Celtics came out on fire in game one. Really not the case this game. They go 10 for 39 from three. And I think you got to give the Celtics a lot of credit because this is a game where in playoff series past, in previous years and even this year, a game where you shoot 26% from three, that you usually lose this game when you're a team like the Boston Celtics. But they were able to come out with the win.
Yeah, and even with the 3-point shooting not being the best, I mean Boston, I was impressed with how they were able to do a great job in other areas tonight against the Mavericks that really helped them get the win tonight. Like defensively, once again, they were great on that end of the ball, and they found ways offensively and really nice ways offensively to get points inside, and that was huge. They got a nice number of points, just that just were close shots, and that made that work well that game. I was impressed with how well they were making that work while they weren't shooting the free ball well, which they, usually rely on so heavily.
Yeah, and one thing I've also noticed with Boston, at least this series, because I've watched both games, I haven't been able to watch any games for other series, but it's their ball movement. I mean, because usually when I've watched Boston, like in the regular season or like watching back the playoff clips, they sometimes go to a lot of ISO ball and it like messes them up a lot. But this series, I haven't seen much ISO ball. Tatum will do it like sometimes, and Brown will do it sometimes. But there's been so many like times where they know they have the shooters now, and I think it's like they're finally realizing, hey, ball movement is king. Like that's why the Warriors were always so successful. I mean, that's why like every good team, it's like good ball movement. I mean, Denver last year, great ball movement. Like the Heat, great ball movement. It's just isolation ball is just not the best. I know firsthand because James Harden likes ISOs.
Unless you have like the number one guy in isolation or number one or number two guys in isolation, it's usually not going to work against a team that's this good at moving the basketball. But getting back to really how the flow of the game goes, like, you said Pritchard hits the three. That's the moment you thought, okay, game's over.
Yeah.
Boston, they then go up by double digits in the fourth quarter. It's like a 12, 13-point game midway through the fourth. And then it definitely looks done. But the Mavericks, they had one more push in them. They had it down to 5 with under a minute to go. Luka was making some big plays. They got a block. Kyrie made a pass to P.J. Washington on the fast break, and Derek White comes in for the block. Derek White, Jaylen Brown both come behind Washington for the block. But thing that a lot of people are probably going to be talking about was that Brown kind of pushed Washington on the back a little bit.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, man, that should have been a foul call because that would have gotten it down to maybe a 3-point game if Washington could hit the free throws. Ben, what did you think about that play in the final minute?
That was really crazy. But, I mean, was surprised to see something like that in the finals. But my take on that call was should have been, a push call on Brown, which I guess, I don't know. I guess that's something that should have led to 2 free throws. I'm not totally sure how that works, but definitely should have been a foul. I mean,
yeah, they would have been.
That was such a big call. I just couldn't believe the ref missed that in the finals like that.
Yeah, they would have had the free throws too because they were in the bonus since Luka had the and one, so they could have had a chance to cut it down to 3. But when you look at the free throw shooting,
it's also Jason Kidd and the Mavericks' fault because they called that really dumb challenge in the first.
That's a very smart point.
Which, I mean, that kind of screwed them. I was thinking, I was like, this could end up biting them at the end of the game, and sure enough, it did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they used their coach's challenge like 5.5 minutes into the game when they were up 7. Like, Dallas got off to a really good start in this game against the Boston Celtics. I don't know why they called that, and then it ultimately screwed them because I'm sure that's what Jason Kidd's thinking at that point. Like, I wish I had my challenge. Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, because nothing was called, they wouldn't have been able to review it. True. But, I mean, other plays, though, as well. We mentioned the officiating, that there were some difficult plays that if you keep that challenge, you could use it at that point in the game, and it could have changed a lot. But with the way that the Mavericks were just really killing themselves at the free throw line, second straight game where they shoot in the 60s from the line. They shoot 16 for 24 from the charity stripe in this game. And, like, that along with 17 turnovers as a team plus the 23% from 3, it's really amazing that they were in this game. Like, if they do call the foul and Washington hits free throws, this is a 1-possession game in the final minute when the Mavericks, they should have gotten rolled over in this game.
Yeah, and it's not even like saying the Mavericks as a whole because everyone besides Gafford and Luka shot free throws very well. Like, it was just Gafford and Luka. Gafford missed 3, Luka missed 4. Which, again, you can't really fault Luka that much because he did everything else besides his turnovers and his free throws, which I mean was a big part.
Yeah.
I mean, he did everything else. I mean, he was setting people up. He's the reason they're there. I mean, and his number 2 guy isn't showing up.
Yeah, and I've said it the last 2 episodes. I'm going to say it again. In order for the Mavericks to win this series, they need Kyrie and Luka to play at their best together, and that just has not been the case.
I think Luka's played phenomenal.
Luka's played phenomenal. The game one was weird with the one assist, the limited assist. I think this
But
game
that's
was a
not
lot
on
more.
him because he was making great.
Yeah, they were. An adjustment that I saw in
Yeah.
this game. I think in game one, you really didn't see the Celtics blitz him or double him. You saw him really have to do a lot of the work in one-on-one situations. But the Celtics learned, okay, if no one else is going to make a three-point shot, we're just going to blitz you and force other guys to make shots. And that's really what happened in the second half. Like in the second half, Luka had 9 points. Only took 8 shots, but he had 8 boards and 8 assists in the second half. And it was because the Celtics kept blitzing him on pick and roll situations and forcing other guys to make plays. And it worked, kind of. I mean, as far as the 3-point shot, no one could make a 3 for the Mavericks, really. But
then it set up Gafford and
yeah, layups versus the threes. And
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I said before this series that I thought that the Mavericks are going with the better coach. I think Missoula's far and away outcoached Jason Kidd so far this series. Jason Kidd should have been playing, like I said, Exum. I think Hardy should get a little more minutes, maybe not like at least more than 2.
yeah, that was.
And I think Kleba didn't play very well at all today. I don't think. I mean, at least on the offensive end, and he was getting beat defensively. So I mean, I think Missoula's played great. His timeouts, like you said, middle of the game, he was calling timeouts at the perfect time. It was like right when a Mavericks like push was starting, and he just called it like that. And
Stop it.
Stopped.
He would just stop the run automatically.
He did. I mean, I was real impressed with how he uses timeouts. I mean, just the way he decided on what he should call timeout. Just so good and unbelievable.
Yeah, because in last year, that was a big thing with Joe Mazzulla, is that when teams go on runs, he doesn't take timeouts, and we saw that even this year, a few games where the Celtics would blow leads. I know in particular against the Hawks and the Cavs, and just those are a couple games. But he wouldn't call a timeout until a 25-point lead is down to 10 already, and then it's like, well, dude, all the other team already has all the momentum.
Can a team make a trade for like just one series?
What? Kyrie for Joe Mazzulla? Sorry.
No. Like a Maxi Kleba for like Dean Wade. Mid-series.
Oh,
and then they can have him back after the series.
Oh yes, I'm after the
To
series.
take down Boston.
Well, look, we talked a lot about the Dallas Mavericks and their other guys not really stepping up, but that was not the case for the Celtics. We're already deep into this podcast,
Tatum.
and we have not
Terrible.
mentioned the name Jrue Holiday really yet for his offensive game. Holiday, 26 points and 11 rebounds on 11 for 14 shooting, his second highest scoring game of the season coming in game 2 of the finals. And they showed the stat where the Celtics are probably now 34-1 when Holiday scores 14 points or more. And it's like, he really is their X factor. When he's getting it going offensively, then they're really tough to beat. You know he's already going to give it to you defensively, and he's been playing out of his mind defensively on Luka and Kyrie so far this series. But when he's giving you 26 and 11, when Tatum shoots 6 for 22, White really didn't have it going from 3 until the fourth quarter.
That was especially huge tonight.
Yeah, but Jrue Holiday, man, just another spectacular game in these playoffs for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, he was the only starter that shot over 50% from 3 too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Jaylen Brown and Tatum 2 for 12, and then you add in an extra 4 for 10 from Derek White. It's not ideal, but Jrue Holiday definitely helped them a lot. I mean, he played some bully ball inside. He was getting a lot of easy layups because he was just cutting at the perfect times, or just he's a fantastic inside player either way. When he gets down low on someone like a Luka, like a Kyrie, and even like we saw Derek White and Jrue contesting the bigs for Dallas, which was a big thing because you just don't expect that from your guards.
Yeah, like they were acting as rim protectors, as guards. It's
Derek
just
White got his thumb jammed. It looked like it kind of hurt.
Yeah, in a goaltend, he had his thumb in the rim,
That
but
hurts.
you just know they are going to be there at the rim, which is in contrast considering their front court, their starting front court, at least Tatum and Horford. They're not rim protecting the rim. It's the guards that are really doing it. Porzingis, another solid game coming off the bench once again, 12 points, 4 boards, some big block shots as well. How many blocks did the Celtics have in?
They had
This
5.
game? 5, okay.
Porzingis had 2. and then Derek White had 2, and Holiday had 1. So your guards give you 3 of your 5, and then your 7'3" center off the bench that you just have looming because you can gives you the other 2.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say who like the Finals MVP would be right now. I think it's Porzingis. You could argue Holiday though because of the defense he's played on Kyrie as well. But maybe Jaylen Brown just because he's your biggest name and he has been playing well.
Yeah.
Definitely not Jason Tatum, I'll tell you that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was going to go to that was going to be my next question is the Finals MVP through 2 games because
Jerry Doncic,
right now,
Jerry West,
dude, Luka
getting a Finals MVP in a loss.
like triple-double in this game. He had 30 and 8 or 10. He had a near 30-point double-double.
I think it was 27, maybe.
Okay, it was something around there. I think
It was a
double-double. It was a double-double in game 1 and then this again in game 2. Yeah, double-double in game 2. But Ben, Finals MVP through 2 games. Do you think it's someone like a Porzingis here? Holiday because of his great game and his great performance on both. Who do you think it would be, or a Brown, or
I give it to Porzingis. My main reason behind that is, well, just because he was so good in game 1. I mean, he was just dominant in that game. That just impressed me so much. And the amount of minutes he was out there playing in that game. And game 2, yeah, he wasn't as good, but I mean, still, was a big contributor like usual. Got a ball really well. The great team basketball Celtics were playing once again tonight, and he had some more big blocks tonight, which and his rim protection, was great again. I would say in this game that's definitely been huge for the Celtics in this series, going up against those Maverick bigs they have.
And I think something key that we also have to make sure to talk about is Porzingis' status going forward in this series because he did take a hit in the 4th quarter of this game. I don't know. It looked like a lower leg injury, but
Luka can play, he can play.
I know, but he just didn't look right the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Defensively, he was not moving the same. That was why Gafford was able to get off a little bit. I know on the fast break, Gafford was able to get a alley-oop when the Mavericks were starting to make their push, but we'll see if Porzingis will be able to play at, the way he's played these first 2 games because of, that injury.
Here's what's going to happen, though. Tatum's going to have one, monster game, and he's going to get it because...
Yeah, it's coming.
It has to be. I mean, if not, then Jaylen Brown's definitely their best player. I mean, and even if he does, I think Jaylen Brown might still be their best player because, frankly, Jason Tatum has been kind of abysmal.
Yeah, I mean,
this whole playoff.
You look at the numbers in this game.
He scored over 30 in this playoffs. I'd be surprised.
I think he has.
He has to have had a couple. But he was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double to get today. I think that credit has to be given to him for playing well without shooting the ball well, because him having 12 assists, that was huge for the Celtics. He was able to make a lot of tough plays and tough passes. The shot just wasn't falling. I mean, he was taking some tough shots. And
Doris said it. I mean,
we're not big Doris Burke fans around here.
But she might have been right one time.
Where Tatum had taken a contested fall-away shot, and she's like, when you're 6 for 22 or struggling the way you have been for the last few games, a contested fadeaway baseline shot or at the elbow may not be the way to get yourself
his
going.
Corner 3, that's perfect.
The catch and shoot corner 3.
But you said it. I think he's just trying to be Kobe too much.
Yeah.
And he's just not Kobe. He's a totally different player with a totally different skill set.
Which is okay, by the way.
It's very okay.
It's okay.
I mean, I don't get why he's got to do this. And the Kobe, dedicating everything to Kobe is okay if you're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it's kind of getting a little disrespectful to Kobe.
Heck, I mean, hey, 6 for 22 with those kind of shots, it kind of reminds you of a little later on Kobe, later in his
career. But
not prime.
Kobe was also coming off a torn Achilles.
Yeah, he's coming off 3
Tatum's
season-ending
coming home
injuries.
from putting Deuce to bed
That's
the day before. That's what it is.
That's very, very accurate. But moving forward in this series, looking at both sides, Jackson, you already mentioned maybe looking at getting Exum and Hardy more minutes. But maybe some coaching adjustments from both sides here, because let's be honest, the Celtics have not played their best through 2 games as well. They could play a lot better.
The whole playoffs, they haven't been playing their best, but still, their middle here is like everyone else is here at this point with the roster they have. It's honestly incredible. I mean, Kristaps is playing some of the best basketball we've seen, efficiency-wise and everything off the bench. Jrue Holiday gave you a great game today. Derek White, even though it's not looked like he's not the most efficient, he's playing immaculate defense. Let's be honest. It's pretty immaculate. I mean, he's one of my favorite people to watch on defense, even though he plays for the Celtics. And then, I mean, Jaylen Brown is still, he's electric. I can't even lie. I've never talked the greatest about Jaylen Brown just because I still haven't seen him go left ever. But, man, if he can do all that with just one, from one side.
Hey, it's all good. Ben, looking at coaching adjustments maybe from the Mavericks side going into Game 3, what do you think they could do moving forward? Whether it's maybe a starting lineup change. I don't know if they really need to make a starting lineup change, but what do you think about rotations defensively? What if they should keep going the way they should defensively, or if they need to switch something up offensively?
So, starting lineup, I mean, I think they should just keep that the same. I mean,
I agree.
I think that's the best you can do, really, with that still going forward. Then, man, it's like in this game 2, I saw multiple bad rotations against the Celtics, which I wasn't too happy with seeing that from the Mavericks. So they really got to figure out, how they can rotate better defensively going forward in the series. Also, I noticed so far in the series, that they did a bad job of getting back on defense with transition defense. They got to clean that up too going forward.
Yeah, fast break points is an interesting thing to look at because it does seem like the Celtics have gotten a lot of easy buckets and fast breaks this series. But what was your idea?
I'm kind of thinking though, what if they moved Lively to the starting lineup and put him on Horford, and then kind of mirrored Gafford with Porzingis? Because I think Gafford could do a way better job on Porzingis. They've played together, so he kind of knows a little bit of his
that is true.
What Porzingis could do. But also, I think Gafford's he's pretty fast. He can jump up high. He can contest those. He's a little bit taller version and a little less vertical wise version of Derek Jones. Maybe not speed wise too, but I mean, he's a big that you can put on him that can get up in his face and force him to take even tougher shots. Because with Derek Jones guarding him, he's getting that little push off move, and then he's getting an easy shot. With Gafford, I don't think Gafford's going to get pushed around like that, especially not by Porzingis. So I think maybe mirroring him, or you could still start him and mirror him, but because he's only playing 20 to 25 minutes a game, which I think is kind of I get you want to do this thing with Lively and him, but he's clearly the better player right now, and I think you got to give him the more minutes, maybe up to 30 a night even, or something like that, or just mirror him with Porzingis.
Yeah, so I think we were looking at the box score and we saw his plus minus was minus 15 Lively's.
Yeah,
was really bad, and I think a part of that was the way the Mavericks do their rotation is they sub out Gafford 4 minutes into the game and bring in Lively, which is about right when Porzingis comes in the game. I think that Porzingis coming off the bench for Boston, it really makes everything worse for Dallas because of that center matchup, and that's why that plus minus probably looks so much worse.
And even with Boston starting lineup, they could maybe try a death lineup for those first couple of minutes until Porzingis comes in. Maybe put Exum in for Gafford. Maybe
go small,
go super small, just so you can rotate because all those guys can shoot, and there's not really anyone who's too big, like a 7'3" guy like Porzingis is. But maybe you go Luka, Kyrie, Exum, Washington, and Derek Jones. I think you got to experiment at this point.
Five athletic guys that can all guard the perimeter. Yeah, not a bad idea. You can switch across all 5 guys except maybe Kyrie, but That's still,
And
you can make up for
Luka's
that.
actually been playing pretty good.
He's been very
Luka's
good
looked really
defensively
good on
this
defense.
series, dude. It's been,
I'm watching. I'm like, that's not Luka, man. Who is this?
That's been just really impressive. And also, I mean, I changed my mind on the lineup change with the Mavericks. I actually think they should start lively at the 5, move, and have Gafford just start coming off the bench.
And like mirror him with Porzingis.
Like, yeah, like you were saying, yeah.
I think that, along with Porzingis' status for how he plays in coming games, could perhaps get the Mavericks back in this series. And while it's 2-0, and it obviously never looks good when it's 2-0, but one win and you're immediately right back in the swing of things. Game 3 is on Wednesday as the series shifts over to Dallas. We'll be back to record a podcast afterwards that will be up on Thursday morning.
Super late.
Yeah, super late once again with these finals. Tip off at 8:30 on ABC. So we've made bold predictions for both of these first 2 games. Unfortunately, we didn't get an overtime game winner. We were close with the Celtics getting under 100. They've had 107 in game 1, 105 in game 2. Let's make bold predictions for game 3 as we go to Dallas. Jackson, you want to start off? What is your bold prediction for game 3, if you have one?
See, I'm kind of skeptical about the series for Dallas at this point. I'm starting to feel like they might lose it, and I think it's going to come off a Jason Tatum 37-plus point game.
Ooh,
it has to happen, and if it doesn't, then I say you trade Tatum to the Rockets for Dylan Brooks. That's just. I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't know why I chose the Rockets, but.
Oh yeah, we just don't know why I chose the Houston Rockets. Ben, how about you? Do you have any predictions or things you would maybe like to see in Game 3? Of course, I'm sure all of us would like to see the Mavericks win, so it's a closer series.
I want to, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm sick of choosing losing teams, man.
What do you think?
I mean, I actually think Dallas is gonna bounce back and win Game 3. And my thinking behind this is because, well, speaking first of all with the shooting, I think they've shot better at home recently than on the road as a team. And I think they're just gonna come out and shoot the ball better and, be in the game 3. I think they're gonna make some good adjustments. And I just think it's going to be enough to get them over the top in Game 3. And they absolutely can't afford to lose Game 3. And I mean,
that's the series.
The American Airlines Center has been a great home court advantage for them. Their crowds have been fantastic there. And I think it's going to be electric there.
Yeah, I mean, home court advantage is definitely something that is important going forward. I think that could be another big reason why the Mavericks shooting has been so bad, is because they've been on the road. And even though, I mean, through the course of these playoffs, I mean, they've been fantastic on the road. But we talked about it a lot going into this series. The NBA Finals is very different. It's hard to win on the road in the finals.
But we've seen Kyrie do some crazy things on the road in the finals. And the thing that's just kind of making me mad is, don't go into your post-game press conference and say, "Oh, it's not loud enough."
There's no reason.
There's no reason for them to do that. And then you play bad in Game 2. It's like, you better not. I haven't seen the press conference yet, but you better not say something stupid.
I feel like, I mean, you have that along with Jason Kidd. In between games, he was asked, what makes it so difficult to guard Jaylen Brown? And Jason Kidd said, "Oh, well, I mean, Jalen's their best player," which at this point,
I don't think that's
not crazy with the way that these playoffs have gone. I think that overall, Jason Tatum has had the better season.
Clearly didn't light a fire under Jason Tatum today.
But that caused, that didn't really cause much with the Celtics. They still go on and win,
I guess.
Yeah, Jrue just said that. Jrue really agreed with him. Everyone else just said,
and
I mean, we all do.
I'm going to be the best player of the team.
Drew's just
the best player on the Celtics is Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, baby. But
getting Kristaps and 2 firsts in the offseason for Marcus Smart.
That is ridiculous. They got Porzingis plus 2 firsts in the offseason. Unbelievable. But I think Dallas, they may be doing a little too much talking in between games. They just need to go out and play better. I think it comes
Yeah.
out. I think my prediction. I don't know if it's a bold. I don't think it's a bold prediction. I think that Kyrie Irving is going to have a much better game in Game 3. I think if any, I'd be
Actually-
very surprised if he had a bad.
Actually,
Game
I could
3.
I could see it just because he won't have the Kyrie sucks chance every time someone shoots a free throw, even if it's not him. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I think he likes that Dallas crowd a little more than the Boston crowd. I don't
Oh,
know,
of course.
I don't know why. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because they're not mean to him. But
Yeah, I mean it's hard to see him playing worse than he did these first 2 games. And I think that he will have a much better game. I think role players always play better at home. I think that
Did you just call Kyrie a role player?
no, I'm saying along with
He's a
Kyrie.
glorified role player right now. He's a role player. He just takes some extra shots.
But I think there is something to be said for the Celtics not really getting it going from 3-point lane in Game 2, and that could be something that is going for them moving forward in Game 3. Either way, should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we get a close game because this
I'm
game.
scared.
You're scared. You think the Celtics?
I think
will pull it
Tatum.
out?
I think Tatum's gonna have a nuclear game. I really do. I could even see 40 plus for Tatum.
Dude, okay. Or do you want to put a number on it? You said 37 earlier. You want to stick with
I'm
37?
gonna say 44.
44. You know,
I mean,
okay.
he took 22 shots today, and I don't see that number going down too much. And he's bound to make more than 6, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna start getting more free throws too, because he really hasn't been shooting that many free throws.
No, he hasn't gotten a whole lot.
I
6
mean,
in this game, not
If
really a
he
lot in
hits
Game
like
1.
3 more threes than he did, that's another 9 points. He went 1 for 7 today. It's hard to see Tate like. I think a good game in Game 3 would make up for this whole playoffs for Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
I like if he drops set 44, or even like 37 or something like that on good efficiency, I think it wipes away at least most of his playoffs.
Yeah, and I think it's key for the Celtics to, know that they need, don't let up at all after getting these first 2 wins. That's not over.
Yeah.
We've seen in the finals, even recently.
With Kyrie.
We saw 2016, of course, with the Cavs coming back from the 3-1, but even as recent as 2021, when the Milwaukee Bucks came back from a 2-0 deficit against the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean,
I'm addicted to the finals.
But I know that I remember after those first 2 games, everyone was like, okay, the Suns got this. Everyone had the Suns winning going into this. Similar situation, it could always go the other way. So I think it's important for the Celtics to go out and try to win Game 3 because
they're playing against Jrue now.
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, Jrue is on their team, and they know. I think them going through last year, knowing the 0-3 deficit, them nearly coming back from that, and then, of course, Jrue Holiday being on their team.
Drew's like,
who was on that Bucks team.
We're
We're not going to let them do this stuff. So very difficult task at hand for the Dallas Mavericks, but I think they could do it. I think we could be back here in 2 episodes, and this series is tied. But
I could see it, but it's tough, especially with my prediction, because I think if they take Game 3, I could see a sweep. I think Dallas will just be demoralized at that point.
And then if Dallas does end up winning Game 3, we'll have to start wondering if Jackson now has the reverse curse when we get to the NBA Finals. We will have to ask that question.
Oh. Probably will.
Could possibly be.
Well, I haven't been that good at predicting these playoffs.
Yeah. Well, yes, we will be back on a Thursday morning for recapping Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Before we get out of here, because there's not a whole lot of news stories to talk about. I've created an NBA brain puzzle. I know it's super early / late. But NBA Rebus, basically what I've done is I've gathered some pictures that go with some of them. They range from difficulty. So I'll do an example out there. Play along at home if you're watching. If you're listening on Spotify, unfortunately, I mean, hope you just. That's pretty much it. But this is a practice one. The first one got Tim Duncan and David Robinson. The brackets are for first name and last name.
I already know it.
So Duncan Robinson, easy. So that's basically how it goes. Got pictures, and that goes to name. So we'll see how you guys do. I've got, I believe, 8 of these. So let's do this one first. So we've got, well, you guys can see it on here.
Dude, what's his name on there? I forgot.
So we've got the color gray. We've got
Son Grayson.
and Tim
Grayson
Allen. On the right. Yes.
Boom.
Yes, Gray, son, Allen.
I forgot his name was Tim Allen.
I know.
I don't want to get crucified for that, but
Scott Calvin? Scott Calvin, baby. Shout out to the Santa Claus.
yeah.
Next one.
Wait.
Let's see. We've got,
Oh, I know it.
Oh no, what? It's tough.
That bird's name, it's called a robin.
so it's
Robin Lopez.
yes,
There we go.
perfect. We got a Robin,
I
a
was
down
thinking,
arrow, and
that's-
Pez.
I was thinking Steve.
Perfect Robin.
Yep.
State
Yeah.
Farm is there. Oh, one of the best commercials. One of the better commercials out there because there have
Best
not
minute
been.
of my life.
You're only probably a minute. Best minute of my life. Perfect. Next one. We've got
What is that?
we've got me.
Oh, I know it.
We've got McDonald's
Miles
logo.
McBride.
Yes, Miles
Why don't
McBride.
you choose that picture?
Because why not?
That's Alvin. That's not Miles.
It says out.
It is.
All right, next one.
I got it.
Next one. It's a little tough. We've got
Russell.
yes, we've got Russell from Up, a compass.
Russell from Up.
Yes.
Kevin. Kevin.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Kevin.
Perfect.
Doug.
Yes, you guys are getting not too late to get all these.
Doug.
All right, next up, Jackson should get this one.
The minivan.
Yes,
George's Niang.
we've got Curious George, Ani, and Aang from
that one made-
Avatar.
that
That
one
makes
made-
sense. Okay.
Watch the show.
I did not, but I had to because I had to. I'll start in the off season. I'll start my work in the
I
off
want to
season.
watch the. We'll watch that football.
Okay.
Let's teach him football now.
All right, next one.
Oh, I got it.
Billy.
Shake Milton.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Milkshakes, some
Uh-huh.
$1 million and a
Tell the
ton.
boys to the yard.
All right, 3 more to go.
Tyler Ewing.
This one, it really doesn't matter much about the player on the left.
Oh,
More about the defense. Player in the defensive stance.
that's Aaron Gordon. Aaron. Oh,
Yes.
Swipe.
Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
He likes Avatar too, by the way.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's why I should start watching, clearly. All right, 2 more to go. We've got 2 former
Is that
Beatles.
Paul McCartney?
We've got Paul McCartney and George Harrison.
That's easy.
Exactly.
It's Paul George.
Paul George.
I thought these were supposed to be hard.
Paul George. Well, some of them are. Well, I could do way harder, but I know it was super late. So if you guys like this, we could do a much harder one. Final one. Got a much bigger one.
Mantis, money.
We've got money, a praying mantis, and then a sub sandwich, and then a scoreboard with the little bonus thing circle.
Oh, I got it. Demantis Sabonis.
Yes. Yes, we've got Doe the
Demantis.
sub bonus.
I'm starting to call him Demantis.
Demantis. Imagine just call it
Demantis.
Demantis Sabonis. Well, good
I've
job.
never seen a Mantis get a triple double though.
Make an all NBA team. But what did you like that, Jackson? What'd you think of that?
Emojis
Well, emojis?
Yeah.
I could. Hey, that could be another
Clark
future one.
Kellogg.
Clark.
Just a box of cereal.
Yeah, it's just a box of cereal.
And Clark from
Perfect.
Clark from Benchwarmers.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you, Ben, for joining us. We'll have you on again soon, hopefully for the finals. We're going to be doing watch parties for all these finals games, so hopefully we could get some mega episode with 5 of us. That would be crazy. Jackson, what would you think about this, buddy?
Fun.
What, are you tired already? Oh, no, he's ready to wake up, listen to some country music on the way home.
I gotta be awake.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA Finals content. Coming up soon, we will be posting actually 2 videos of some basketball challenges we did today outside before the game started. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.